Let's talk about hospice care, or the misconception on how to utilize it. Even though patient care is rapidly changing and the quality is increasing, many people are still undereducated about what types of options are available to them. Even though hospice care is being used more, it's often too late. Sims, the writer of a journal entry for Medscape, states, hospice is not a place, but a concept for healthcare delivery to those dealing with life-limiting illnesses. He also goes on to talk about how hospice is designed to promote comfort and support for hospice-appropriate patients and their families in order to improve quality of life. Many patients qualify for hospice care but rarely take advantage of it for the misconception that hospice means giving up. Family believe they are giving up for mom and dad, grandma or grandpa, but that's because they don't understand the purpose of hospice care. Hospice is a system of care designed to relieve suffering and promote quality of life for people living with terminal illnesses. Tulsky says in his book, Understanding Hospice Care. Pain management is the biggest area for hospice care. Treating patients may involve medication dosages that have adverse effects that may not be acceptable for a quote unquote healthy person, but acceptable when controlling pain is top priority. Along with pain management, hospice is also designed to address physical, emotional, spiritual, and social needs of the patients and their families, whether it be last wishes or religious practices. Many who have the option for hospice care but denied it due to the misconception that it means giving up. However, hospice is for when treatment is no longer working and it will not be able to be effective again. Tulsky says in his book, the best time to consider hospice is when one living with an advanced living illness and cure-directive therapies are no longer working, or when the burden of such treatment outweighs the benefits. As most things, death has stages, and because hospice is often used too late in the process is why many of the misconception hospice is only for the actively dying. I work in long-term care and regularly meet acceptable candidates for hospice patients and that are constant pain or simply worn out, but the patients themselves or families believe that means giving up. Patients continue to suffer and continue treatment such as invasive procedures or chemo, while their stage of the disease process is incurable. Meanwhile, hospice isn't focused on curing, it's focused on the quality of life they have left. I'm going to share with you what hospice entails and the professionals who choose the best treatment regimens and the type of care that is given. Hospice is used to maximize the quality of life for patients with fatal illnesses. Those who have accepted their illness and want to focus on comfort rather than prolonging life. Now we talk about who's an acceptable candidate for hospice. Hospice is appropriate when curative treatment is no longer the goal, but comfort is. Patients who have signs or chronic illnesses that interfere with normal everyday routine are diagnosed with progressive illness with complications. The patient must have the decision not to pursue any curative treatment or have tried the treatment and has failed. The patient must understand the disease process and understand that hospice is not focused on prolonging life, but making the last phases of life more comfortable and meaningful, resulting for a better quality of life. I'm going to share a video with you that explains when you should consider hospice.
Medicine and palliative medicine that you are going to change the focus of how you're looking at your life from these days forward.
A family should think about hospice when they realize that conventional curative treatment is no longer effective, or that they realize that the treatment, basically the distress and the discomfort from those treatments are no longer worth it. So the sooner that they are admitted to Crossroads, once they reach that stage, the better off the patient and family are going to be.
The difference with Crossroads timeline, though, is that the things that we plan and the programs that we have for our patients involve us being extremely aware of where the patient is in their disease process and where the family is in the journey. So we do everything we can to journey with the patient and the family to provide the programs that we have in place.
We're going to be able to intervene sooner and make sure the patients, we're being proactive so the patients aren't experiencing those symptoms that they usually have at those latter stages. We're going to prevent those from occurring instead of trying to treat them after the fact.
The timeline of a patient's journey with us is very important because it allows us to be aware and to be attentive to exactly what's going on with that patient and that family, so that as the disease process progresses, we can actually be there for them in mind and in spirit and emotionally, physically. We can be so in tune with what's going on with them.
So for someone to be admitted to Crossroads, I want them to know that they should be comfortable knowing that they're going to get the best hospice care available.
Okay. A A study shows that more than a quarter of hospice use in 2009 was 3 days or less, and those referrals followed a hospitalization or ICU stay. This means those patients had been diagnosed with a fatal illness previously, but spent their last days suffering trying to prolong life treatment, when their care should have been focused on making those last days comfortable. Well, you didn't shut it off.